Early on a chilly morning in June 2010, we hired a Jabiru 230 aircraft at the WA ATSIM aerodrome and took off for Burringurrah, a small Aboriginal community 480 kilometres east of Carnarvon and 1100 kilometres north of Perth. This trip would normally take 15 hours to drive, and yet we flew there in 5 hours. Flying over remote country, we landed first at Meekatharra, some 800 kilometres from Perth, where we got fuel and had a short break. Turning northwest, we flew towards our destination, and in the distance we could see the giant monocline Mount Augustus as we approached the Burringurrah gravel airstrip. The Jabiru handled it well, and the school's principal's husband, Will, greeted us at the aerodrome and was interested to hear why we had come to visit. I explained that the desire and plan of Cornerstone Aviation is to visit and build up a small church or worship centre in remote and regional communities, to assist John Beck and other Bible workers to maintain the centres regularly and to provide health and Christian education programs. Visitations will also include families living in remote cattle and sheep stations. Burringurrah community was chosen initially because of the absence of a church, chapel or worship centre, and because literature evangelist Clint Hollingsworth has previously made contacts in the community. Later that evening, Brittany, the school principal, was excited to hear of our plans and introduced us to the CEO of the Burringurrah Aboriginal Corporation. We received a warm welcome from him, and he was very interested to hear what we could offer to the community. Later we met Kylie, the Deputy Shire CEO for Gascoyne Junction, who had come specifically to meet with community members to plan and make changes to improve their community. God's timing is perfect. God knew we needed to be there for that meeting. Kylie invited us to speak at the Shire community meeting the following day and to share with the people why we were there and the opportunities that we could provide. John and I both spoke and offered an invitation to come to our worship meeting that night. After the meeting, the community leaders approached us and welcomed us to their community. During the afternoon, we were kept busy taking photos of as many kids around the community as we could, inviting them to see themselves on the big screen. And sure enough, along they came, and that night we were amazed to see over 35 people attend, and many of those stood for Jesus when John gave an appeal at the close of our meeting. Despite the late hour, the people wanted to keep singing, and we closed with, "When we all get to heaven." A stocky man approached us as we were packing up and said he was the only surviving son of that country, and that his father's wish was to have a church group build a church so they could have a place to worship. Kylie, the Deputy CEO, has offered to assist us in placing a submission for funding for the church building. We plan to build using volunteer labour as a mission project. Early the next morning, Will took us out to the airstrip and we flew out of the little community, and we thank God for the way He opened doors and blessed us with Cornerstone Aviation, a non-profit organisation that believes in reaching small outback communities and stations on a regular basis by using aviation to bring the good news of Jesus' imminent return. For more information about Cornerstone Aviation and how you can be involved, contact me, Darren Peakle, on 08 6102 2024 or 0400 663304.